So this is the iPhone 14 Pro, and looking at the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus this year, iPhone 14 Pro seems to be the best iPhone or upgraded iPhone this year. But this is not your regular iPhone unboxing, and I am a hardcore Android user and I've used this iPhone 14 Pro for 5 days. And a lot of you like me will switch to iPhone thanks to Big Billion Day. Now straight up, this is the box. It's slim, it has a Type-C to Lightning cable, a SIM ejector tool, that's it. So let me get my SIM in. Okay, day one. Now the initial 1 to 2 days is where you feel a bit weird switching to iPhone because years and years I've used Android. Now one really good thing is iOS has an app called Move to iOS, and that basically transfers all my contacts, photos, videos, even WhatsApp chats to iPhone for free. Last time I had to use a third-party app and had to pay about 1500 to 2000 rupees. This time it's free. So that was seamless. But I had to install all the apps manually from the Apple App Store because they just wouldn't install automatically. But it's fine. Now a couple of things that has improved on the iPhone. Number one, Apple has One now, which is a subscription. So if you buy Apple One, it costs 195 rupees per month and you get 50 GB Apple Cloud storage, Apple Private Relay. Now, in case you don't know, if you browse the internet, every website gets your location, IP address, everything. Apple Private Relay protects that, but it is not good as a VPN. Your location is still being tracked. So if you're looking for a good VPN, I would recommend Surfshark VPN, which is also the sponsor for this video. Two good reasons to get Surfshark VPN. Number one, Surfshark VPN works on all websites seamlessly with good privacy, and you can even unlock content from other parts of the world that are not available in India on Netflix, Prime Video, etc. Here's a good video for that. Number two, it starts as low as 130 rupees per month and you get unlimited device access, so you can share it with your friends and family. Now Surfshark partnered with us, and for Team TW, you can get 83% off and 3 months extra if you subscribe at surfshark.deal/TechWiser. Enter promo code TechWiser to get 83% off and 3 months extra. Okay, back to number two. Truecaller now works really better on an iPhone. Like, hold on. Mrinal, can you call me? See, the name shows up and I haven't even searched it on Truecaller. The number is not saved. So you just have to go to settings, enable Truecaller ID, and it just works. And even if you get unknown number, missed calls, you can just go to contacts, press the I button, share contacts, search on Truecaller. Straight up, you don't even need to open the Truecaller app and you can search on Truecaller. Now, it's been 2 to 3 days and honestly, I felt the iPhone 14 Pro to be meh. Like, number one, the most hyped feature was Dynamic Island, the punch hole. See, Apple has beautifully integrated it with all the apps. Like if I use a song app and I can just swipe up and the entire song and controls go up, I can just tap to open the app and long press to open the widget, to pause, play, or go to next music. This works smoothly, not an issue. There were some bugs initially, but they had pushed an update and now it's pretty smooth. But see here, this Dynamic Island comes in between while watching YouTube videos or content and it just stays. Even if I open the YouTube app this way, see, it interferes with the content. You will see this every time, but this is where I say Apple is a marketing genius. If Apple would have launched this notch without any feature, this would have been trolled so hard. But now since this has a feature, this will be copied and will be praised, but initially I didn't find it usable. Number two, always on display. Like this is the always on display. It's just too bright, and hang on. When you see a notification, it just glows up and you constantly stare at your phone thinking there's a notification. Now, of course, you can long press here and set a black wallpaper and now it looks better, like an always on display. But music, art, songs just show up like the phone isn't turned off. And in the settings, you just get an always on toggle. That's it, no customization. Now, iOS is smart. So as of now, always on display turns off if you keep your phone like this or if you keep your phone in pocket. Obviously, if you use an Apple Watch, you walk away or sleep, the always on display on your phone will turn off. But for me, I don't use an Apple Watch, so most of the time this always on display is on. And at night, I have to enable sleep mode to turn this always on display off. And this uses quite a lot of battery. Like with haptics and always on display, you have to charge your phone by 8 to 9 or before going bed. Battery doesn't go out for one full day. Also, I took a couple of photos and frankly, I've used iPhone 13 and 13 Pro and I didn't feel much of a difference in the photos. Like, see this photo? It almost made the building dark. But again, I'll give it some time and let's see what happens. Okay, now I'm starting to understand this phone. So now we are here outside and let me show you something crazy. Now I'll turn on action mode on this phone and I'll run. Okay, so you're ready?
Steady.
3, 2, 1. There it goes, and now we are running.
Wow.
Oh, that is so steady.
Super.
Now I'm actually enjoying this phone. Like more than the iPhone itself, iOS 16 is really good. See, if I go to the lock screen, I can just set up different lock screen or have a daily shuffle of my photo as wallpaper. I can also have lock screen widgets, like it's limited, but you can. It's good. Also, the animation of the phone opening and closing an app is damn good. In fact, the overall animation of iOS, like let me show you a really good example. See, I open YouTube and just flicking it goes to full screen and flicking it down goes to normal screen. It's so fluid on an iPhone compared to a flagship Android phone on the side. And YouTube is a Google app. Also now you can just drag someone from a photo and paste it on Notes or any other app, and instantly you can remove the background and send these photos, which is truly amazing. Plus, suppose you just want to take this phone number from this card and send to someone on WhatsApp. You can just go to WhatsApp, tap, scan option, just take the number, send, done. And in general, scanning text in and out of photos and the overall support in any app is pretty good. I use it on a daily basis. So the feature Apple has worked on are really good. I know you can do everything on an Android, but it doesn't require any third-party app on iOS and it is well supported. Just that the notifications are still a mess on iOS. Like I haven't read any of these and neither am I going to. Android handles notifications way better than iOS. Here's a video on that. Do watch it after this video. Next, the two camera features that I really loved. Number one, cinematic mode. I found the cinematic mode on iPhone 13 to be a bit gimmicky, but here you can do cinematic mode at 4K 30 FPS, and trust me, as a content creator with enough lighting, you can get away with this footage, and this is really useful. Like it works really great and it is far usable than any Android phone portrait video out there. Number two, video. The iPhones have really good video. Like we went to celebrate Sam's birthday, belated happy birthday in the comments, and this is the iPhone footage. Like no change in color, proper consistent 4K 30 FPS, and I just pulled it out of my pocket and I was just pointing it at different directions at different light. And straight up, it's a good video. And rest for the photos, you get a 48 megapixel new sensor, but in real life, the images looked similar to any iPhone image ever. Like see here side by side, this is an iPhone 13 and iPhone 14 Pro photo, and let me know in the comments if you can see a difference. And there is a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera which takes really good photos, good colors. It also acts as macro camera and it takes really good macro photos. Also, you get a 3x telephoto camera, and I took some night photos, day photos, and it works good in good daylight conditions. Now, by default, the iPhone 13 Pro takes 12 megapixel photos, which are like 2 to 3 MB. So if you want to take 48 megapixel photos, you have to go to camera, settings, Pro RAW, and now it will take 48 megapixel photos when you enable RAW, and that would be like 65 to 70 MB. So if you're planning to do that, you should get the 256 GB variant just like us. Now with Samsung's 108 megapixel sensor, Xiaomi's 1-inch camera sensor, is this the best camera phone out there? I doubt, but it is definitely the most consistent camera phone out there. So this is the day when I understood the iPhone. See, I feel it's not much of an upgrade over the iPhone 13 Pro. So if you're coming from an iPhone 13 Pro or even iPhone 13, stick to it. But for someone coming from an iPhone 10, iPhone 10R or iPhone 11, this is a huge upgrade. You get that new dynamic island, really good camera with ultra wide angle, 1x, 2x, 3x, 120Hz display. Even the display can do 2000 nits of max brightness, and outdoors, as you can see, it is pretty bright. Like even with sunglasses on, you can easily see the display. This probably is the brightest display on any smartphone. And with the launch of iPhone 14 and 14 Plus, those are barely an upgrade. So if you're buying an iPhone, it only makes sense to get an iPhone 14 Pro if you want the latest iPhone. Else, the big billion day has just passed and iPhone 13 sold for 50,000, 55,000. That was a crazy worth it deal. And this iPhone isn't that exciting, but it is the same consistent best iPhone ever. On that note, this is Prateek signing off. See you pretty soon. Pew, pew.